Russell Crowe.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey Russ, we interviewed your wife this year about calling all magicians, and I said to say good day to you. Did she pass on that message?
Did she mention
Yes.
a creepy guy in Perth?
Fantastic.
We did move the conversation back to the album, mate, but he did mention you a few times.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Big fan and Rabbitohs member, and I spoke to Peter Holmes-Court at the game.
Member number?
I've got my cap on, 2010. I can't remember the number, but yeah.
That's what we do now. It's a little thing we've started. It's like, everybody memorise your number.
Okay.
He has actually got the cap on, Russ, too. So
I got them to give me a really simple number.
One.
We hope.
That's a great idea. Give me a really simple number. Swap this one.
When I go to Dockers games, I cry and I scream and all that. What kind of spectator, what kind of supporter are you when you're in the stands?
I'm one who's in control these days. I've had to, just take into account that, unfortunately, every facial tick I may have is up for a photograph.
Yes, scrutinised.
My poor kids and wife have had to deal with some pretty ugly-looking photographs of me expressing my particular emotion at the time. And I've also got to realise the effect that has on the players too. The players obviously like it when I'm passionate about a game, but every now and then I'll just lock myself in the office at home and turn the television on and enjoy the game in my traditional way.
No photos.
Yes, yelling at the TV.
Traditional language.
Like your native tongue.
I'm at the ground now with the team, I try and show my better self.
Hey, Russ, talking about passion, the closest I get to being you is watching my son's under-10 soccer game. He was goalie for the second half this week, let 3 goals through, and our team lost the game. So he ran away crying. How do your kids like Charlie? Is Charlie playing sport, and how passionate is he?
Charlie shows kind of a grand disdain for sport, which is just so painful, right? But it's just the way it is. He's into reading books, and he's got a massive vocabulary, and he's not showing any interest that way. Oddly enough, as he gets bigger, and he's sort of feeling the body that he has underneath him and the sort of strength that he has, I'm hoping that's going to change. But right at the moment, I have to deal with standing in a room full of friends, who say things to Charlie like, "Hey, the Rabbitohs are going great, aren't they, Charlie?" And he'll just turn around and say, "Sport? Ugh."
Hey, I'll be one of those sons. It's bizarre, isn't it?
Walk off.
It must kill you, does it?
So he's left sort of smiling. Yeah, he's a great kid. Yeah, kitty. The thing is, you can't control the destiny of your children in that regard, right?
No.
They're going to be their choice, and you follow whatever they want to do, and you love them whatever they want to do. I really feel for you, man.
Yeah, I know. It was upsetting. I didn't know how
Must have been a great conversation you had with him, though, after that, when you sort of like letting him know how much you love him and all that sort of stuff, and how much it really, because it's those sort of moments where, in truth, sport really isn't that significant, isn't it? It is for enjoyment, and that's probably one of the things that owning a club and being in control of a club is where you relearn that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to keep an eye on my son, Tom. He scored a try in rugby on the next field the other day. He's only 4.
So he ran across the other paddock.
And it was a runaway try, right? And he had to step past some crying kid with goalie gloves on. Knocked him out on the way past. Sorry, you continue the story. I wasn't there.
No.
That sounded good, mate.
As a former sportsman, I wanted to ask you, Gladiator, Robin Hood, you looked super fit, particularly in Gladiator. Does that take a physical toll on you, that sort of training, getting ready for those roles?
It does. It sounds kind of ridiculous to talk about it to people because, they only see the end product and it lasts 2 hours. They don't realise, that it took 6 months to shoot and it took 9 months to prep for it. But yeah, I'm 46, man, and I have ground some areas of my body to a virtual standstill. I've had a couple of shoulder operations, and I carry various injuries from falling off things and, or getting hit in the wrong spot, I mean, even in Gladiator, like that guy I did the tiger fight with, One particular occasion, he was supposed to go left, and he went right, and he smacked me right in the head with that axe. It's a 36-pound axe.
Yeah.
So it's like, to get the little birds going around your head and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously things like Cinderella Man, that was 6 months of people smacking me in the head. So, you definitely pick up things as you go along. And, I currently have, a rib in my upper thoracic that pops off the spine every now and then, which is not very pleasant if you're driving. My left shoulder will actually regularly subluxate, just pop out and pop back in, which is a good wake-up call.
God, you're like a party trick.
You learned that from Mel Gibson, didn't you?
My left Achilles tendon has grade 4. Well, both Achilles tendon have grade 4 tears, but for some reason my left one hasn't drained itself properly or whatever, and it's I got to stretch it like crazy all the time. I went through this series of injections to try and get it to replicate and heal, but I don't think doing those injections followed by, umpteen flights around the world is actually what the doctors had in mind, so that didn't quite work. So I'll probably have to start that again.
You sound like a doubtful starter for the game on Saturday, mate.
Yeah, I'm definitely not pulling on the boots.
You did well again. You did well against.
You're 46, and if you've lived an active life, as anybody's lived an active life at my age knows, you pick stuff up. You expect it when you go into things with the sort of energy level that I do. It's, the bumps and scrapes come along with the gig, man.
Russ, so I spoke with Jodie Foster on the Gold Coast when she was here for Nims Island. She said you guys were going to do a film together, but you had a shoulder, and that was
that was the very first time.
The circus movie or something?
Yeah. I was actually training for that thing. I was a circus acrobat, was the character.
That's right, yeah.
And I had some Eastern European, I was going to say Russian, but I don't think he's part of Russia anymore. And he was teaching me, and I had this young girl who was very live and nimble and everything, but, big boned. And I had to sort of hold her push her up with my hands, and she'd flip over and blah, blah, blah. And the coach, was talking to me about something, and I didn't have my hands in the right position, and I'm sort of trying to listen to him, and then she steps on my hands and basically tore the labrum tissue off my left shoulder.
Oh.
That's where the injury began for you?
For that one, yeah. For that particular shoulder. But that was actually, it was like the straw that broke the camel's back off the fact that I'd sort of scratched that shoulder up over a number of years doing a number of things, but I hadn't actually ruined it at that point, But at that point, she stepped on it and tore it, and off we went.
Hey, Russ, just as we wrap up, mate, of anyone we've had who's become a big star on this big cast, is a bloke from here in Perth or from Rockingham, in Sam Worthington. We said, don't change, mate. I couldn't imagine him changing from the bloke he is now. He's a good kid.
Look, he's a great guy, Sam, and but there'll be some extraordinary pressures that come down on him, mate, and so you can't hold things against him over time, At his core, no doubt, for his family and for his good friends, Sam will always be the same bloke. And, but you have to understand that, certain things happen over the course of time and over the course of a number of interviews and stuff where you probably, the vast majority of people become self-protective, and a lot of people become smarter in that regard. I'm not one of those people. As you can hear through the course of this conversation, it only works for me if it's on the tips of my fingers, and it's the same way I approach my job. I want to be available in that instant, in that absolute millisecond for every frame, And so I just made the decision that I'm not going to be the person that shields himself, And hopefully, Sam will, being a knockabout bloke and stuff. The great thing about Sam, man, is his simple passion for the job. He loves to be an actor, and that is going to carry you through a lot of the rubbish that happens, If you love the job, then there's nothing that you'd rather do than, all the stuff, the slings and arrows. They just, they come and go, and you enjoy the waves.
Hey, Russ, good to have you on our big couch, mate. Can you just say one thing so he can carry it forever? Can you just say, Shane, mate?
Shane, mate.
Yeah!